Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, is one of the most effective books in the world about human relations. If you want to improve your social IQ, be more influential, and improve your leadership skills, then this book must be your Bible. Even though the book was written 84 years ago, it is still applicable today, and because of that, it is one of the highest sold books in the world. In this video, I will summarize the entire book. After watching the video, you can say that you have read this book because it covers every single chapter and every bit of important information. Part 1. Fundamental Techniques in Handling People. Chapter 1. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. People don't criticize themselves for anything, no matter how wrong they may be. Remember that people are creatures of emotion, and they are motivated by their ego and pride. Criticizing people nearly always puts them on the defensive, and they find ways for rationalizing their actions. Even family members of criminals most frequently go into denial, blaming the system instead of the person for the crimes. Criticism hurts a person's pride and sense of importance. Remember, people can hold resentment for insults that can last a lifetime. Famous airplane test pilot Bob Hoover was flying back from an air show in San Diego when all of a sudden both of his engines cut out. Through some impressive flying, he was able to land the plane, saving those on board. Unfortunately, the aircraft was badly damaged. The reason for the harrowing engine failure was that the World War II propeller plane had been accidentally filled with jet fuel. Back at the airport, Hoover saw the mechanic who had made the mistake. The young man was in tears, knowing how furious Hoover must be over the loss of his expensive airplane and the danger posed to the 3 people on board. So did Hoover yell at him, scold him, criticize him? Not at all. In fact, Hoover said that to demonstrate his faith in the mechanic having learned his lesson, he'd like the same mechanic to service his plane the next day. The reason for Hoover's benevolence was perhaps that he knew something that psychologist B.F. Skinner had discovered a long time ago, that animals rewarded for good behavior will learn more effectively than those punished for bad behavior. The same is true of people. Criticizing them won't encourage them to change their behavior, because they're not primarily driven by reason, but by emotion. Any weak person can criticize or complain. It takes real character to understand and forgive. Chapter 2. Give honest and sincere appreciation. One of the strongest drivers of human behavior is the desire to be appreciated by others. We all like being complimented and hearing that we're doing a good job. Some people even claim that all civilization ultimately rests upon the human desire to be important. Our craving for approval and praise makes us climb the highest mountains, write novels, and found multi-million-dollar companies. You don't need to give someone a fancy title to show your appreciation. It's enough to use simple phrases like "thank you" and "I'm sorry," while also giving sincere, honest praise. Don't shower people with phony flattery, or they will see right through it. Instead, stop thinking about yourself for a moment and focus on the good points of the person in front of you. Also be sure to make the other person feel important. To get into the right mindset, try thinking like Ralph Waldo Emerson, who said that every person he met was superior to him in certain ways, so there was always something to learn from and appreciate in other people. Or think about the golden rule: treat others as you would like others to treat you. So the next time you see a tired, bored, underappreciated service employee somewhere, try to brighten their day with some appreciation. Leave little sparks of appreciation during the day. You'll be surprised to see how positively people react when their hunger for recognition is fed. You'll soon become someone whom others like and enjoy working with. And best of all, you'll have a positive impact on the lives of those around you. Chapter 3. Appeal to another person's interest. Let's say you like cheesecake. When you go fishing, you don't string cheesecake at the end of your line. You attach what the fish wants, which is a worm. Why do you treat people any differently? Of course you're interested in what you want, but no one else is. Everyone else is just like you. We all want what we want. The only way to influence other people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it. Every person in the world knows what they want and cares about what they get. Approach them from this direction. Before you speak, pause and ask, what can the other person get out of this? Even challenge yourself not to say anything about what you want. Show other people relentlessly that you want to help them. The world is full of people who are self-seeking, so the rare person who unselfishly serves others has an enormous advantage. Andrew Carnegie had a sister-in-law whose kids never wrote letters back. He bet someone he could get a reply without asking for one. He wrote letters, at the end mentioning that he was sending a $5 bill, but omitting it. Sure enough, they replied, thanking him for writing and asking where the money was. Chapter 1. Become genuinely interested in other people. Who is universally loved as friendly and approachable? A dog. They're always excited to see you and seem like you're the most important thing in their world. Showing interest in other people makes them feel important. All of us like people who admire us. People aren't interested in you or me, they're interested in themselves every day for their entire life. When you see a group photo, whose face do you look at first? Remember, you make friends much easier by being interested in them than by trying to get them interested in you. Ask people about their background and their goals. Remember problems people are having, and when you come across a solution, share it with the person. Go out of your way to talk to people who are beneath your level, employees who don't report to you, service people, etc. For people above your level, express a genuine interest in them, their work, and their advice. They feel important when they can pass on the secrets of their success. Chapter 2. Smile. A smile says, I like you. You make me happy. I'm glad to see you. It's a message of goodwill. Once upon a time, a New York stockbroker by the name of William B. Steinhardt decided to try something new on the author's advice. Previously a notorious grouch who rarely smiled in his personal or professional life, Steinhardt committed to simply smiling more by giving himself a pep talk in the mirror. The morning his experiment began, he began the day by greeting his wife with a smile, then smiling at the doorman of his building, then the cashier at the subway booth, then the traders on the trading floor and his colleagues in the office. The result? People began smiling back. At home, Steinhardt said that there had been more happiness in the first 2 months of the experiment than in the entire year before it. What's more, he found that at work, complaints and grievances were easier to deal with, winning him more revenue than previously. In short, he was a richer, happier man. As the story shows, a smile can go a long way. If someone we've just met smiles at us, we tend to automatically like them. The smile of a baby, for instance, immediately makes us feel warm and fuzzy inside, as does seeing a dog wagging its tail out of sheer delight at seeing us. So if you want to make yourself instantly likable to someone, show them that you're happy to meet them by smiling. When they see how happy you are to meet them, they can't help but be happy to see you too. Chapter 3. Remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. A name is a person's identity. It makes her unique among others. This is the principle I always ignored before, and whenever I met someone new, I would hear his name, and after 5 seconds, forget it. And later on, when I needed his name, I would always excuse myself by saying, "I'm so sorry, I'm so bad with names. Could you please repeat your name again?" After reading the book, I noticed that this was a huge mistake. When you remember another person's name, it shows that you really listened and cared when you were talking. Using names reduces the barrier and makes other people feel closer to you. These days, when I meet someone, I really pay attention to the first few seconds when they mention their names. And instead of just saying, "Nice to meet you," I always say, "Nice to meet you, Tom." By repeating the name, I remember it better, plus it makes the other person feel connected to me. So the next time you go to the gym or somewhere else, instead of saying, "Hi, how are you today?" say, "Hi, Tomas, how are you today?" You'll start seeing the difference. Saying the name is a subtle and welcome compliment. Forgetting it or misspelling it is a crippling mistake that suggests you don't care enough to get it right. People pay loads of money to have their names remembered after they die, naming buildings, having parks dedicated to their name, etc. A business person who can't remember the names of his important clients is simply saying that he doesn't care about a big portion of his business. Carnegie wanted to merge with a car company called Pullman. When Carnegie mentioned that the new company would still be called Pullman, Pullman became far more eager. If you are having difficulties remembering names,